So, Smiling Friends, the newest Adult Swim hit that everybody loves, including me. Yes, I know the hype for the show has calmed down, except it is relevant again because the new special is here, and I have to also retroactively put that on the list because it's season 1 and this is a ranking of season 1 episodes. So yay, I get to edit more! But damn it, I still really enjoy it and wanted to talk about it. Now I could talk about how cool it is that someone from the internet who is really entertaining
centimeter string of shit would shoot in my ass on like a Spider-Man's web on the ground.
Centimeter string? That's the most foul visual.
Got to make a show that's actually good and understands what we as a society find funny nowadays. Or how we all wanna fuck must. But everyone's already done that, so I'm ranking and reviewing the episodes instead. Which is something that someone else has already done. Listen, I have a witness who can testify that I came up with this on the spot. Also, this is going from worst to best, and keep in mind, most of these rankings are completely factual. Let's go. Okay, right off the bat, let me say some things about this episode I actually like before you start to beat the shit out of me. First off, I really like the live action segment, and especially the payoff. The boss in this episode is just so entertaining.
Easy? I should be able to do that. Wait!
Walmart! The demon blackface guy was not only cool to see in stop motion, but the joke itself was really funny, and the way it not only pays off them wanting firewood, but also what Charlie said in the beginning of the episode is kinda brilliant. However, while the Pym stuff is entertaining, it also feels a bit too bare bones. Like, you can kinda know how the episode's gonna go up until the end. I've seen some people say that they like it because it's super well done horror, and I don't consume a ton of horror, so I wouldn't really know, but it didn't really do it for me. So to sum up, beginning good, ending amazing, middle, decent. I think you can kinda tell that these rankings are pretty close if I'm saying this about my least favorite episode. So, before I start, guess how many times I'm gonna say B-plot. Leave your answers in the comments below so the algorithm notices this video. Okay, same deal as before. Positive stuff to start out with before Mr. Frog vores me. First off, Mr. Frog is fucking comedy gold. The way he's drawn as just a human, but without a head and a face on his lower body, is already amazing. And his insane and unexpected character quirks also make him a great interpretation of a cancelled celebrity. And the way the conflict just gets solved with Mr. Frog once again doing something awful, but everyone just being okay with it, is also really funny. However, the B-plot really bogs this episode down. I understand why they wanted to give Gleb a B-plot after Alan had one in the pilot, which, spoilers, was really good, but this one never really gets all too funny or crazy as Alan's B-plot, and there's also really no payoff for Gleb. Like, sure, the boss baby dies, but he didn't even do that himself, that was Mr. Frog's doing. So, great episode which suffers just a bit from a weak B-plot. Also, I said it 4 times, whoever got it right is fatherless. Okay, yes, this is the new big special, and I know people are gonna be jumping to defend it. And I do love the episode. It being one long, realistic argument about Pym not booking a hotel, despite the fact that they put him in charge of that task, is brilliant. And ending it with a plane crashing as they say they're going back home is just perfect. I also love how the boss in this episode is just a normal sounding guy instead of a crazy person.
They're gonna see I'm just a big horrifying crazy person.
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
But while I like what the episode does, in comparison to other episodes of the show, I just don't think it's as good personally. I think the other realistic arguments in the show work really well, but that's because they take place in episodes where this can happen.
You must!
I really can't! It's not right!
But I know that that was the point of the episode, so I'm not criticizing the episode for it, more so just pointing out my reasoning for why it's here. An actual piece of criticism I have is that they didn't reference Angry Birds Rio. Like, come on, guys, it's one of the best games of the 2010s. Be more... dogged.
You kissed your dad on the mouth?
Yes, Pim, it's actually normal in European territories.
Look, Pim, I know it's our job to help this guy and everything, but I think this guy's a lost cause. He's obviously made up his mind. Why don't we just cut our losses and get out of here?
Okay, here I think I need to give my reason for why I put it so low first, because a lot of people think this is one of the best, and my super well thought out reason is that I just don't like it as much as the others. Well, that's a lie. I'm not the biggest fan of generic fantasy settings, even though this episode does play with that, but I've always just been more of a sci-fi guy. But that's it. Like and subscribe. But this episode is still pretty fun. Mip is a really likable character, and the twist that he was a terrifying stalker who was carrying a bomb with him is both scary and ingenious. Makes the episode really cool to rewatch, like when he says that this is Pim's quest, which in retrospect is him wanting Pim to indirectly say that he's behind the bomb. Charlie and Pim's conflict here is also really funny, and actually ends in a rather sweet way. Also, Pim turning into Golem and then just transforming into himself again is... Yup, the finale. With actual character drama and a legit arc that's really well done, and that character drama actually makes sense given what the show has established these characters as. Wow! I'll say that this episode is a bit slower than the others because of this, but it still has some really good gags in spite of that. I will never forget Charlie's massive horse cock. And I'm fine with the show not always being a 24/7 joke machine. In general, the setting here is really cool, with a frozen over hell. The animation was also peak in this episode, with Satan being an obvious highlight, but also that montage where Pim explores hell. Overall, I guess you could say that I respect this episode more than I like it, and I like it a fair bit, so that's still praise. Also, R.I.P. Gilbert Gottfried. Very fitting he was God in this episode. I gotta say, this is probably the most solid episode of the whole show. I mean, it's not the best episode using the standard Smiling Friends formula, but it has tons of great gags, like S'more You, Shrimp as a character is freaking epic, and my favorite moment with him is actually when Charlie just casually admits he's a failure. The plot splits off really naturally as well, with Pim finding Shrimpina and then realizing, oh my god, that's my future Aku-san, and having a generic ass, what should I do moment, only to later completely subvert that in the funniest way possible. And wait.
I thought it was like a quirky, like you didn't expect she was gonna be a human thing.
That slippery, slimy, cold-blooded, bug-eyed...
What's new, pussycat?
Gecko.
Is that a motherfucking BoJack rep?
Charlie, you to help someone smile.
Really? I know just how to do that. I'll send him to the Black Void, where all you're allowed to do is discuss the pilot of Smiling Friends and nothing else for the rest of eternity, until your mind goes through every single emotion and has no choice but to submit to happiness.
What the duck?
Black Void, go!
Oh, I guess I'm here now. Alright. So yeah, this pow's really good, you guys. Like, it's strange to have a great show like this start off with such a banger, but this is it. But why did the 18-year-old explain? Well, you bottomless bottoms. For one, the way they introduce the character dynamics is really smooth. I love how in the beginning it shows the dynamic of Charlie and Pim as early as the first scene with them. You get to see how annoying and apathetic Charlie can be and how Pim has to egg him onto his optimism. I don't know if this is or whatever, but either way, it's really damn impressive. What's also impressive is how this plot introduces the main premise of the show in its most extreme opposition. By having this depressed,
Stupid piece of shit.
being the guy that had to help, it shows the lengths Pim will go to cheer someone up, and how that can be imposed by someone who just can't be cheered up. Speaking of which, Desmond is just fucking great here. Each one of his lines is gold, and the way the visitor delivers them is just perfect.
But if you can't help me, I'm gonna f***ing shoot myself and make you two walk. Is this supposed to make me not want to kill myself? Alright, gonna kill myself now.
Alright, yeah, what about that?
What? The ant?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kinda cool, but it doesn't make me feel any better, though.
Yeah, no, I didn't think so. Oh.
I also enjoy how nonchalant Charlie is throughout the whole ordeal, and how accepting he is of failing his job. And the ending is both really funny and how anticlimactic it is, but also sweet in a way the guy was able to find his calling. And the way the subplot murders the main one is super great as well. Oh, and before I go, one more thing I want to mention is how great the non-sequiturs are in this episode. Like the anti-alien I mentioned earlier, Mr. Boss just straight up breastfeeding in a scene, and the guy in the walls are all just really funny and how out of nowhere they come. And plus the casual dialogue in there is also really fucking good. So yeah, overall fantastic start to this show. And while I put this one a little higher than this cunt does, it's still a really great start and just the thing this show needed to get picked up. Wow. Making that review actually made me feel kinda good.
What? You put this episode as your second fave? Yes. Yes, I did. I love so much about this episode. I love the fact that it is a murder mystery, completely subverting the usual plot structure that a typical episode would have, but not taking away all the crazy BS. I love the setting and commentary that it brings. I love all the mascots. This episode also has the best post-credit scene period. Move over, Big Wheel 2008.
I am
Big Wheel.
You think you're the only superhero in the world? Mr.
Wheel.
You become part of a bigger universe. You just don't know it yet.
Laugh at me all you want. I'll laugh more. This episode is top tier, baby. Though it does remind me of the ever-growing joke of capitalism, and how we are doomed to only benefit the rich and powerful, and never ourselves or others in actual need of these nuts. Yep, it's this one. No hot takes to be found. Everyone kinda just agrees that this episode is the best, or one of the best. While I praised episode 5 for its unique setup, this episode uses the normal Smiling Friends setup, go to wacky character to make them happy, and completely flips it on its head by having evil versions of Pim and Charlie show up to ruin their attempts of making someone happy. And I love how the show knows that that is one of the funniest tropes in all of media. I think the reason this episode is so beloved is not just because it has some of the best gags, but also because of how flawlessly they paid off everything by the end. Cannot believe this is the episode Zach, Michael, and co. had trouble with.
That episode was the biggest nightmare of any of the episodes. And I think the fact that it turned out people like it a lot, that episode, yeah, it was like 2 a.m. And, you know, Michael was still in Australia at this point. It's 2 a.m. where it's late where he is, and we're just on Skype going, how do we fucking end the episode? We had no idea. And this is while we're boarding the episode, and there was a moment where it was just like, this is either going to be the bad one, or we just have to get it, you know,
So
or we're not going to
stressful.
make it.
So stressful. It was
Not much more to say, honestly. I just hope season 2 can go even harder. Well, that was it. But before I go, I have to tell you all something. Michael Cumsack felt really bad about not referencing Angry Birds Rio, so to make it up to me, he gave me access to a sneak peek of Season 2 of Smiling Friends. Please, take a look.
Hey, Pam, I looked it up. That guy was right, it's normal. So if I'm your daddy, will you kiss me?
Hello everyone, my name is David Sauce, CEO of Warner Bros. Discovery. I'm here to give you the unfortunate news that Smiling Friends is cancelled, and that we will be putting an end to Adult Swim. Goo goo gaga.